Welcome to my show, Musings from 20th Street. My name is Dr. Jane Goldberg, and I am a psychoanalyst, and I am also the owner of La Casa de Spa on East 20th Street. We're here for the Really Real Reality group therapy show, and I want to refer back to something that I said a few sessions ago, where I talked about that I specialize in working with cancer patients, and that actually my cancer patients do quite well. Even my terminally ill cancer patients, they don't die. Some of them are alive and well and kicking 25 years later. And that the people that I've had in my practice over the 35 plus years that I've been doing this, the ones that I have lost, they all fall into a pattern or a category, which is that they made unilateral decisions about their therapy. They decided to quit without my agreement. And when I mentioned that in a previous group, the group thought that I was threatening them with death, that if they left, they were all going to die. But in light of my having said that a few sessions ago, I wanted to refer to a phone call I got just before I headed down here to do this show. And that was from a group member that, in fact, kind of was MIA for the last few sessions without discussing it in the group process, that he wanted to not be present, and without discussing it with me. In fact, I called him several times and he didn't call me back. So I'm referring to Paul, and he must have had an upsetting session a few sessions ago, since he obviously didn't want to return. But I do find it a problem when once a patient commits to this process of group therapy, then it becomes a relationship, and it becomes, the commitment is made that we are going to process all thoughts and feelings as opposed to acting them out. So if the feeling of wanting to leave, feeling like you need to leave, when that feeling comes up, that impulse comes up, then I do find that there's a better prognosis if the process is talked about as opposed to acted out. And we do know that there is a very intimate connection between mind and body. We do know that psyche and mind can affect body. And so I do find that this process that we are endeavoring to do here, where we're processing everything that we think and feel in this group setting with each other, about each other, toward each other, that it integrates on a psychic level, and that does affect the body. So having said that, of course, we all wish Paul the best and a rapid recovery. He fell in the street and broke his shoulder, and his heart kind of went wild, and that's why he's in intensive care. But there might be an instruction for us about this. So, group, let's see where we want to go today.
Before I die, I want to talk to this one over here, the newbie, the Barbie doll, who just had a very negative thing to say before we went on air. And I don't know where the hell that came from. I was, it came out of the blue. Lana's back, I guess.
Okay, so before you tell us
what says anything, she just attacked.
She attacked.
Excuse me,
excuse
isn't
me,
that
John.
the point, that she's supposed to process her feelings, not attack?
I just repeated what the Dalai Lama said. He says, "You're one of 6 million people." So just
No, but I mean, the way it came out was like from left field.
So you know what you said that aggravated her? Did you know what aggravated her?
Yeah, she was staring daggers at me while you were doing your monologue.
Well, looks could kill, but.
So why did that aggravate you?
Because I was talking, I don't know what it is. There seems to be with these groups, and Dee, my sweet Dee is not here today to defend this, but.
You might have to make a new friend.
Well, this is not starting on the right foot, but I mean, we were talking about something, and I was kind of shocked what you said about Paul, and I don't know, I made a statement, and then she comes out with this very profound, out of the blue, left field, and I saw John looking at me, he said, save it, don't say anything, save it.
Because Jane was going to do her monologue, so I said save it.
Yeah, because she said it before.
But it sounds like you experienced that as a personal attack.
Well, yeah, I'm used to that after 48 weeks.
Was she directing it toward you?
Yeah, she was.
She was. Were you
Yes.
directing it toward Barbara?
She looked right at me.
Yeah, I was trying to heal
were.
Barbara. I was giving her some words of wisdom from the Dalai Lama.
No, well, it didn't sound that. Well, the Dalai Lama's not in the room, and it came out of your mouth, so it didn't sound very positive.
Well,
I think-
welcome to the group. What is your name?
Suzanne Deverman.
Suzanne, it's nice to meet
Don't
you.
give
seem
your
like a
last
very
name.
pleasant, positive, you have a very pleasant, positive aura about you. So
Well, thank
welcome
you.
to the group. What made you decide to come?
Well, I love Paula Gloria and Jane Goldberg, and I need some therapy so I can get past the glass ceiling and onto bigger and better things, more lucrative deals. I want money to flow, more freely because we're playing in the big leagues now, and it's time for more education and more professionalism.
Is that more like a business group you're looking for? Like a business thing, a networking group?
I don't know. What do you think, Josh?
Oh, I'm sorry, Suzanne. I just want to tell you one of our rules is no touching.
Okay.
The Dalai Lama.
Yeah, me
I've
too.
got two indications now for saying what I want to say now. I don't want to be too classified now as the sweet, loving guy. I am that some of the time, but I don't want it to be forgotten that there are things that occasionally go on here which
Walter, what
make
are
me
you
saying,
angry,
Walter?
and I still have anger at times, and I'm feeling like it's what I learned, I think, in childhood. Like, oh, Walter's learned his behavior now. Walter's learned, good boy, He's nice to Walter. Yes, Walter. Yes, Walter. Yes, Walter. Nice boy, Walter.
Called positive reinforcement,
Walter is also unhappy with some things, and don't consider Walter someone who may not get angry in the future. And I also...
You're not
along-
a chick magnet, Walter. I just want
I'm
you
not
to
a
know
what?
that.
Oh, shit.
Say it again. Did you say
You're really
I'm
coming out
sorry, I
with
don't
pearls
do
of
do-overs.
attacks, aren't you?
chick magnet?
You're not a chick magnet. She just attacked you, Walter.
No,
What do you think she means?
I have no idea.
She insulted you, basically.
I don't know what you mean, but also along those lines, parallel, you talked about professionalism, and what I'm feeling too often here and in some other places is that the professionalism is overplayed, and the letting people hang out and be what they are, which can get great power, real emotional power to communicate better than professionalism.
You're
to
acting
my
better
view.
already.
What? What?
What was that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to understand
I'm
what's
not sure
happening
what's-
in this room, Walter.
Entirely where
Walter.
that's coming from, but I'll
Walter.
let it set now.
Walter.
And I'll listen to Jane.
Thank you. But I really don't want to have to say 3 times that I'm ready to make an
I'm
intervention.
sorry, I was competing. I want to finish what I want to say.
I know.
What are you angry
Okay,
But,
at?
Jane.
but well, I'm confused about what's happening in the
so
room,
am I.
actually.
Yeah.
So what I think is happening is that you're angry, and you're angry, and somehow this triangle, everybody's angry at everybody else. But but I'm not sure that's what's happening.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
I think
right.
it's I think it's
don't know
something.
what's going on
I think
with
I know
her.
what it is. Every time somebody new comes into the group and they meet Barbara, they have a negative effect.
That's
on
not
our-
everybody. Don't
I've
make
noticed.
general
No, I'm not making
statements.
general,
Come
but
on.
it did happen with.
pretty
No,
true,
wait.
John.
It
No,
happened.
it's not
It happened
pretty
with
true.
Josh. It happened now with
Suzanne.
Suzanne.
Did it
I
happen
think
with
it happened.
me or Carol?
And that doesn't say everybody, but it happened to me. It may have happened to Lana.
Lana?
Right.
Lana
So
was
the reason why I'm
awful.
bringing that up is because I think like you mentioned about the music, people are like instruments. We give off a song and stuff, and I think that Barbara is unconsciously singing a song, or is playing a sort
Am I
of
singing
music.
a funeral march?
And I think that when people meet her first, they see it's like a punk rock thing or something.
Okay, now, Barbara,
Yes.
if you, since
was very-
you've expressed in the past that you want to feel loved by me, if you want to feel loved by me, then you have to be in this room in a way that is not completely narcissistic. And I'm going to tell you what a communication would be to John that is not narcissistic, and see if you are inclined to give it to him.
So-
instead of disagreeing with whether John is right or not, he may be right. I found it an interesting theory, but it may be wrong. It almost doesn't matter when you're making a communication to somebody if the intention has to do with an effective communication right or wrong, accuracy, inaccuracy, almost kind of flies out the window. So if I were to make a non-narcissistic communication to John, I would say something like, that's an interesting theory. I wouldn't say, you're wrong. You know, I'd express interest in what he's saying because he's giving us the privilege of going inside his mind, and I would be interested in knowing what's inside his mind.
That's good.
Well, it might be an interesting theory, but you know what? If everyone in this room hated me, I would agree with that, but I do have
We don't
friends
hate
You can't
here.
win.
But we don't
You cannot
hate
win,
you.
John.
No,
It's not a hate. I think
you know what
I'd
I'm
like to
saying?
say something. Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead. No, please.
I think Barbara knows that she talks too much. Mm-hmm. But it's what she grew up with. It's what she knows. It's what she can't really always help it. Sometimes she can, sometimes she can't. But not everybody hates you in this room, and you
No, I
know
know.
that. And
No,
it's
I
not
know.
just
Yeah, there's
it's
nothing
just
wrong
not
with
two
Barbara.
or three.
Barbara's a comedy. I like comedies.
Well,
I think you're
For-
premature
I think
with some of the things you're saying.
Go ahead,
I do
Carol.
too.
Finish. Just finish.
I do too. I think that when you provoked Barbara, maybe you really meant to just share some of the teachings of the Dalai Lama, but that's not what it came across to me either, and I'm not Barbara, you know. And then when you said to oh my
Walter.
God, Walter, you're not a chick magnet.
And boy, did he start acting like a chick magnet. And
Well,
I was
it's-
more attracted
but,
to him
you know, we're
after
not-
I said
Here's
it.
the thing. I joined a church one time in Indianapolis. It was all black except me. I even joined the choir. And when I did that, where I'd be more visible and, you know, like part of the gang and everything, I did that because I love to sing, and the choir director was from Chicago. He was phenomenal, and I love that black gospel music. It's so cool.
Me too.
So I was in the choir at this church, and the bishop called a meeting with me, and he said, you know, I am so grateful that you're here and that you want to be part of our congregation and all that, but I just want to ask you to come in quietly. You know, when you're new, you know, to come in quietly and kind of find your place and let other people get comfortable with you and find their place. And that has served me very well since he told me that. I've gone in quietly places. I don't have to be like heard. I don't have to
That's
like
good
get in
advice,
somebody's
Carol.
face. I think it is.
But you might want to give that advice to Barbara as well.
Oh, gee. here we
well,
go.
I'm just
You
sharing
know,
it because
it's
it
very
has
good
served me
advice.
very
Attack.
well. And I think that when you come in new, I don't even know your name yet. I
Yeah.
forget.
Suzanne.
Suzanne. And my sister is named Suzanne. I should have remembered that. Anyway, I think to come in and get in people's face, it's like, wow, maybe it will do some good. But it's so abrupt, it kind of shook me up. And I wasn't even who you were talking to. It kind of hurt my feelings for them.
Thank you.
So, I mean, to say he's not a chick magnet, he may be to some chicks,
I
maybe
think
not
I just
you.
was trying to get him to straighten up
But it's not your
Who the hell
job.
are you to
because he was talking
like this?
to
But see,
everybody,
here's the thing.
but he wasn't looking at anybody.
But you're new, honey. You don't know anything about us. You
was-
haven't watched any of the episodes, which would have been good if you did. Then you would have come in here with a little knowledge, Miss Video.
Sometimes
person.
not having knowledge is best.
No, it's not.
Because when
You're
you get
new. The show
indoctrinated
ends
and
in
caught
2
up in
weeks.
everybody's shit, you
That's
can't
right.
comment.
That's
The
right.
show
You're
ends in
right.
2
You're right.
weeks.
Exactly. Take account of every word you
You
said,
don't know
including
anybody
the
in this
first.
group. Dee would be
Well-
the little-
Wait.
No
No,
touching.
Suzanne,
No
touching.
touching.
She wasn't gonna touch
Carol,
that.
that was very good.
please
Remember
stay
the
in
first
your
word you
seat.
said?
doesn't
It was
attack.
sometimes.
Okay, Walter.
Very
It was
good.
well.
Walter
She-
and
you're compassionate.
Barbara, I want, since Suzanne is new, I do feel I need to tell you what the rules are.
Okay.
You stay in your seat, you don't move toward people, you don't make gestures toward people, you don't touch people. And you put your thoughts and feelings into words. So if you had a thought or a feeling toward Walter that led to your saying you're not a chick mag, it does sound like a criticism or an attack. It sounds like a negative statement. It sounds like, from listening to you, that you had an intention behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what we're doing here is that we're saying our intentions. We're not acting out intention. We're verbalizing our intention. So you're calling a lot of negative feelings toward you, and I think it doesn't serve you well. And in terms of what you said you wanted to accomplish, that you want to, go to the next level in terms of your career, I think you do have to stay in touch with your audience, and you don't want to pull a lot of negative energy toward you. You want people to want to cooperate with you and support you, as opposed to not like you.
It's going to be like Frankenstein. They're going to be chasing me with,
With torches.
Yeah, exactly.
You can take my
torches.
place in the attack area. I really appreciate
I think
it.
Suzanne is into
attack
tough
magnet.
love. I think it's tough love. I think that's what she was coming from.
No, that's not tough love. Tough love
Sounds like
is
there's
from
some element
Carol.
of it.
Carol has
Okay.
I think she
Now-
did that to
Jesus,
confront you,
Carol.
to break you out of your conundrum.
Barbara, if I
You
were
look like you were. Yes.
if I
Yeah,
were in
I
a
think so.
non-narcissistic state, I wouldn't
Carl,
disagree with
please.
John and say, no, that's not tough love. I'd say, that's an interesting idea, John.
That's getting boring to say that every 5
Well,
seconds. though.
say
There's
it-
emotion
say-
behind
Could you
it.
say it once?
There's emotion
Before
behind
you get bored,
Jane,
could
she
you
will
say
not.
it once?
She has not got it in
Could
her.
you actually say something that expresses interest?
It's a
We have
creature.
two
It's not a
That's an
person.
therapists
interesting
besides
idea,
you. We
John.
have two
It's a
therapists.
creature.
Yes.
It's not a person.
Like sometimes you do that, right? Some people are just.
Oh,
they're
I just got attacked by her
No,
now.
I don't
love
want to.
it.
Barbara, I don't want two therapists. I want a therapist.
She just attacked me. She just
I
attacked
didn't.
me.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, Kate, fuck
Get
you.
off.
You know, fuck
Okay,
you.
that's
right.
inappropriate. She's right. That was that
But
was.
she's yelling at you. She attacked me. She attacked me.
Oh,
she
I'll
attacked
take
me.
care of myself. But you should not make fun of her.
Okay, well, she
you
should
wanna put
swear.
people
She
making
should
fun
tell
of
me
you
to fuck
behind your
off then,
back,
Jane,
too?
too?
Is
that appropriate?
No, it
Okay.
absolutely
Can
is
we
not.
go there now?
But no,
What
no,
words are
because
bad?
do you want to stoop to someone else's low level, or
No,
do you
I
want to
don't.
rise to the level
Yeah,
that
your
you
level
could?
is very low every
which
week.
is that. So whatever that was, that represented that you just did, that blah blah blah, make
Yeah.
fun of her. Could you put it into words?
The feelings, the way she makes you feel.
She makes me sick to my stomach.
Well, you make
No,
me
no,
how
no,
you
no,
feel.
that's not
Stomach,
good.
too.
Okay, you can do better. Than
I want
that.
to puke
No,
over
I
you.
really
That's
can't.
no, that's not.
What is it that she said?
It's not useful for
wanna
you to
vomit.
settle with that.
Well, I don't know what else to say. She makes me sick.
Well, you've made me sick since the first
She just
show
wants
you ever
more
started.
attention. That's all.
We've tried all that.
and you
We've
don't?
been through all that.
You don't want
We have
attention.
been through everything
Barbie
with this
doll,
person.
Barbie.
Kindness,
Barbara,
consideration.
We're not
love.
calling each other names.
Apparently we are, aren't we?
No,
Chick
no,
magnet.
we
But
are
don't doesn't mean you got
not.
to follow what everybody else does.
It's getting real
can set an
nasty.
example.
Okay,
I don't
Kay,
think we can
It's not there
suddenly
for
rise
Kay,
over all
Kay,
the
I'd like
low
to help
levels. I think we have to visit them, even if just
She
a little,
enrages.
to come from,
Walter.
to get to
Walter.
what you're asking
Okay,
for.
I want to help Kay right now. Could y'all actually let me run this group? This is like the beginning of the last time that we did this.
It
Y'all
ends
are
in 2
wild.
weeks, though, Jane.
Okay, well, we've got 2 weeks that I would actually like to be able to run this group. So could you let me do that? She enrages you.
No, that's over. She did that already.
Okay, then what's next? What's after that?
Well, then we tried love, and we tried understanding. We tried befriending.
Where are you at now in
She's
relationship?
I'm
dead,
at.
by the
Not,
way.
it's done. I'm at
Okay, so she's
status
dead
quo.
for you. You've killed her.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay,
okay.
that's fine.
I think she just comes from a great family, an outgoing family.
What?
That's what I think.
Are you
Oh,
kidding
boy,
me?
you
honey?
just
You
stepped
don't
into it
know.
big time. Now
you
you
don't
just
wanna
brought it
know.
on yourself.
You
Go.
you have no clue
I'm
what
telling
kind
you.
of a family I have come from.
Here we go.
Do you ever get beaten for 9 years?
Okay, if I wanted to be non-narcissistic, I would say to her, Suzanne, that's an interesting theory.
No,
I
it's
happen
totally
to think that it's completely wrong. Can I get you to make one non-narcissistic communication before the group is over?
It depends on how
No.
people go.
No, it can't depend on that. It depends on you.
Can I ask you a
It
question?
only depends on what it is that you're willing to do with yourself.
Why is Dee able to get to me, and why is Carol able to get
It
to me?
has nothing to do with
In
what
a good way.
Barbara,
way. Oh, yeah,
Barbara,
Carol's her
you're
big buddy now.
misunderstanding. You think who
She
you
was my buddy before that.
could I actually get you to listen to me?
This is insane.
That wasn't listening to me. That was making a commentary before I even said anything.
Well, go ahead. But, yeah, this is
You seem to be operating under the idea that who you are reflects how people are to you. And what I'm trying to tell you is that who you are, and I'm telling everyone in the room this, who you are is your decision about who you want to be, independent of what provocation, what stimuli are coming to you from the outside. It is your own choice who you want to represent yourself as being. at any given moment. And Shante, you
That's
want to?
gorgeous. I really think I think it's profound. It's so simple. It's elegant. Who you want to be
At any given
at
moment.
any given moment. Because every time we open up our mouth, we're saying, this is who I am at this moment.
And unfortunately, anger makes you go places, or
I
emotion
allow,
can make you
anger doesn't make me go anywhere. I allow anger
to
to.
make me.
When I do that, I'm not too pleased with myself, quite frankly. And this, above all, to thine own self be true.
Yeah, but anger can give you, can make you get up and do things. You know, it's
Yeah,
energy.
It's a good motivator too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think the
I
most
believe in
powerful.
expressing anger.
Well, I don't want to express it. I just want to, I don't, I mean,
It's justified.
No, no,
Are you-
no.
It's totally
People,
Maybe.
people don't
Yes,
know
yes,
who
yes.
they are. A lot of people don't know who they are. A lot of frugal people think they're generous. A lot of generous people think they're frugal. And people are totally confused. I personally am totally confused as who I am. And I have a lot of anger in me and hostility. It's true I take it out on real estate banking, but in reality, I'm really angry at everybody.
Everybody in this
So
room is angry.
it's
at
easier for
everybody.
me to take it out on the landlord. But who knows? I may hate somebody in this room more than any landlord.
Well, how do you feel now? How do you feel now?
Who do you hate
How
in the
do I
room
know?
now?
Now, how do you feel
Now?
now? What
Yeah,
are you
what do you
thinking?
know?
What are you
Yeah, who do you
feeling?
hate?
No.
He wasn't talking about hate. He was talking about anger.
Well,
just said hate.
today,
But basically he's talking about
today
anger.
I hate myself.
no,
You
don't
know,
do
I have
that.
I have aggressive feelings against myself. That's why I bite my nails. You know.
I bite my nails.
and so on.
so-
So there is anger, there is hostility, and I'm not coming to terms with a lot of my own personal problems, hostility, frustration, and anger.
But don't you think that kind of affects everybody in this room?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you see it. You see it in
So,
black and white.
so actually,
But
Josh,
you can't just snap your fingers
Josh.
Right.
and do what Shanti says.
I agree with
because
you.
people don't do that.
No, they don't. That's not,
in
that's
reality,
not
they
reality.
don't do
You're
that.
right.
For a long time, I've begun to think of myself as a person, and I do do it.
Yeah.
I do it. I practice it. It's called self-discipline. You know, like we need a group leader to tell us, shh, let me speak, you know, and then we have to take responsibility for our feelings. And if I feel angry, perhaps I can look for the other side of it.
Yeah, but Shanti,
Let me just
sorry.
say one thing, because what you did was say anger motivates you, gives you energy. So does love. And try it. There's not a greater energizer than love.
Yeah, I'd like to turn everything into getting things done, you know, for the good, the bad, or the ugly, you know?
Well, how about
good
the
you're
five?
motivated.
What the good, the bad, and the ugly? Could we up the ante on that a little bit?
Well, I was upset and I wrote a book because I turned
Cool.
something that I couldn't into something I could.
right.
And
Beautiful.
I could hold that book up, but it's
No.
somewhere.
We don't promote our careers
Suzanne.
here, even though everyone is doing it.
Barbara, can I run the group? Suzanne, we don't do anything other than stay
Oh,
in our
okay.
seat and talk.
All right.
Suzanne, what is the book on?
It's a romance.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
and I
it's
think
called,
we're all
it's called The
insecure
Marine.
sometimes.
Through Harlequin?
Are you sometimes insecure?
No, self
Uh-huh.
So am I.
Shanti,
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry I cut you off before. Thank you.
very Zen approach to life, which I really enjoy in certain circumstances. When you go in certain worlds, like the corporate world, or you go down to Wall Street, or you work in situations,
Not easy.
okay, no, that anger that she's talking about, that raw anger, to get pissed in a boardroom and be succinct and angry about it and let everybody feel how pissed you are, is a great way to rise through this pool of sharks if you want. Anger can save your situation in the corporate world, and especially in New York City. That hard edge can really make people not want to mess with you. And if you're too nice, they're going to mess with you, they're going to pick on you, they're going to play with you, they're going to find a way to get rid of you.
That's called being a bitch.
Okay?
I like that.
And you have to have that hard edge. Just the edge that says, if you mess with me, I'm going to bite back. And they have people, it's an instinctual thing, and you have to have it when you go in a boardroom. and work with money and work in
So then you get
situations.
fired.
You're actually giving justification.
I'm saying that it has a place in this jungle of a city, in the corporate world and in the money world, that can be very effective and productive. And if you see how Donald Trump, I don't know if you watch the show The Apprentice, but if you see how he runs that boardroom, he comes in there like you don't want to even think to mess with him. And it's not because he's an asshole or he's a jerk. You have that, you're with your anger. So that means if you're going to mess with me, I will take you to town. I will take you to town like a pit bull, and I will not let go.
He doesn't
I don't
get
even think of
Anger
it.
is so
He doesn't
piddling.
get
And in a
angry.
business deal, Shanti, that can be the difference between
He's
winning or
successful.
losing.
He doesn't get angry. He doesn't
know,
In
yell.
a business deal.
I think you're
Act
right.
like they're angry. They don't know what the
He doesn't
intensity
yell.
of
And I've
anger
learned
is.
this because I've
Their
dealt
anger
with
is so
corporations
piddling.
and I've dealt with
Right,
the corporate
Donna?
world and I've dealt with the business world for many, many,
Okay,
many
so
years.
I want to run the group right now. Thank you, group. Actually letting me talk. Surprise. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what people are feeling toward each other. I mean, they're interesting ideas. Anger is good, anger is bad, anger is productive.
I like
anger.
corporate. I like
But
corporate.
but
girl.
Suzanne, what are we feeling toward each other?
I
Can
like.
I answer that question?
mutual
first?
respect.
For
If you
myself?
can answer it, I'd
Thank
really
you.
like you to
Myself.
answer it.
Honestly, it relates to it. I don't seem to be able to feel anything direct towards anybody. I feel like kind of diffused and feeling like I haven't had enough participation to satisfy my craving. And I just, I'm feeling bleh, like it's sort of diffused, like wish I could focus in on more specific things with each of maybe a few people.
So why don't you do it now?
Yeah.
Well,
You're
I don't know,
here.
because Jane is leading,
it
and
now.
I
Yeah,
don't,
but do it
she didn't
now.
ask for that.
Do it now.
Do it
She
now.
does.
You have one more session.
I'm happy to hear you say any feeling toward anyone in the room.
Okay, Suzanne, I still don't know what the word chick means in that context that you gave it. I'm totally mystified.
Feel.
What do you feel?
What did you feel when she said that? to
Angry,
you?
upset, embarrassed.
I didn't feel anything. I just felt a confusion.
You don't know
As
what
much
that
as
means?
That's a feeling.
Do you know?
No,
You don't know.
I know
that
what the
means?
word
Chick magnet?
chic
No,
means.
chick magnet.
I know. Chic is like closer. That's the only association that came. I don't know what a chick
A young hot
that
girl.
word chick
Yeah,
means.
a young hot girl. You attract a lot of hot women. You're not a chick magnet. Basically, she was saying a woman would never date you. That's what that means.
What I was saying was, I want you to act like a chick magnet because it makes. And then you started to act better. You
Like act like a man.
Yeah, you started to act more attractive.
Well, to you.
Before you were talking over there, now you've started facing us, and now I see somebody more powerful, more attractive.
Well, I think there's something that you're not taking account of. This is really the beginning for you, and that was even closer to the beginning for you. I mean, you didn't know me at that point, and now you know me only a little better. It's really early for you, very early for you.
And the show ends next week, 2 weeks from now.
Okay, guys, we have to stop. Thank you, Walter. That helped a lot. And Suzanne, that was a perfectly appropriate communication to make to Walter. So let's see how wild we get in our next session.
Brother. And you can't sell this to an